Yo, what's happening, people? I want to welcome you to Flip the Script podcast show. My name is Sol and I am the host. So, on this show, you'll get the opportunity to listen to some inspiring people talking about real, honest, heartfelt, no holds barred transformation stories. We get to hear from ex-drug users, reformed criminals, all sharing their personal stories and how they manage not only to turn their lives around, but now are helping others to do the same. We also get to hear from courageous men and women sharing their experience of surviving high-level trauma and what they are doing or done to start that much-needed healing process.
Start to mix with the ghetto boys.
Okay.
from the ends. I did learn about crack cocaine at a young age, but I wasn't smoking. But I just didn't really understand that I had a problem. You know what I mean? I'm just funking the money at the weekend, but because I know that I could get it back, it wasn't really an issue. I must have been clean for about a month, and then I thought to myself, it'd be a good idea if I go over to North London, Hornsey, where I used to use, and try to get some of these people into treatment, you know what I mean?
Well, welcome to Flip the Script podcast show. Today I've got my good brethren Tirzah. Yeah, see the brat, yeah.
No.
Come on,
yeah. No shot after nobody, yeah?
No, of course not. No, man. We don't do them things no more. Yeah?
No.
All right. Okay, so listen. Yeah, so welcome to Flip the Script podcast show, the show that we talk to people regarding their transformation stories, their life stories and stuff like that and what they're doing now. I've got my brother Tirzah on here. Tirzah, I've known you for over like 11 years now, I think. You know, I had the honor to be your best man at your wedding a couple of years ago. I know your partner, your wife, your lover, your whatever you want to... Yeah, there you go. See it there. And yeah, so I've known you both for a while. So I kind of know your story, but I've not heard it for a while. I've not heard your backstory. You get me for a while, man. So I really wanted to get you on there, obviously, talk about what you're doing. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing right now, though. What is it you're doing at the moment regarding life?
Oh, well, at this moment in time, life is about, for me at this moment in time, I'm working. Got a couple jobs.
Couple, okay. All right, couple okay jobs. Couple jobs.
I mostly kind of stayed these days.
Okay.
Chill with the missus, watch a few little series, watch some movies, go and see family, my daughter, my granddaughter. See my mum, and I go see my aunties and see a couple of close friends, brethren or sisterins. Okay.
So, couple of jobs. I know tell me a little bit about one of the jobs that you do at the moment. That where you work. Your main job.
Okay, my main job.
Not the pocket money job. The main job. Yeah, the main one.
My main job, what I work is, I work in a treatment center, what deals with drug and alcohol issues, substance misuse issues. I deal with people, I support them in their journey, in that road to recovery, and to help them get a better insight to themselves and to support them along the way.
Okay. So, and how long have you been doing that for now? You've been doing that for a while though, still, isn't it?
I think I've been doing that since around about... Well, I've been doing that since around about 2014, 2015. But I got into the care industry, I suppose, from like 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously, you said that you go and see your daughter, you go and see your granddaughter, you go and see family, friends. I know me and you are ravers, but we've not been able to do that quite recently because of the whole thing that's been happening in the world, the pandemic, the lockdown. I know we are going to be going out soon, innit? We're going to be going to 51st State Festival coming up.
Our regular,
yeah, definitely. So
I think it'll be the fifth time.
A fifth time, yeah, the fifth time, yes. And just a little thing, when we go out partying, we go out raving, we don't drink. I don't drink. I don't take drugs. I don't do nothing. And I know you don't do that because we're on.
So what are you trying to say? You say that.
I'm not saying that you are, but I can't speak for you. I can't speak for you, but I know, like, I can speak for you. All right. Okay. I'm letting you speak for yourself. All right. You speak for you.
Okay.
All right.
You know what? I personally don't do drugs. I don't do no form of ease. I don't do no form of weed. I don't do any form of narcotics. I don't drink alcohol, and that's me. Sometimes when you drift off in a place, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm just talking for me. Yeah. All right.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we got the kind of picture, yeah. So we're both in kind of recovery. That's how we met, really, isn't it? We met through recovery, both on a journey, and we've been fortunate to stay on that journey for a little while now. I think we're coming up to like 11 years, both of us. You know what I mean?
Correct.
God spare life, as they say. So that's coming up soon. So I know my story.
We've got the double figures.
Yeah, double figures, man.
When we started off, it was in single figures. I didn't even think that
Yeah,
we know that we would be getting to that. It was
exactly.
always something for me. I suppose it was always something that was my kind of my spur, my force into getting double figures.
Yeah.
I just thought
Your incentive. Yeah.
a different incentive, a definitely an achievement to get
Yeah, an
double
achievement.
figures. But did I know I was going to be getting it? No.
No. Well, this is why you're here now. So this is why we want you to kind of talk to the viewers and tell them, how did you get to double figures? So tell me a little bit about Tirzah, man, like from when you was young, man. Like, tell me a little bit about how it was for you when you was growing up, where you're from. I know you're from South London, but okay, man. Not, you know, we can't all be perfect and come from East, but it's cool.
Okay.
No, but yeah.
Yeah, because
can't blame you for that.
South London, but East London. Anyway,
Yeah.
South London, for me, I suppose I grew up with my mum. I always classed my mum as my mum and my dad. I've got two brothers. No, 1, 2, 3. I've got 3 brothers, and I've got 2 sisters. But my 2 brothers and 2 sisters, they live up in Manchester. I just live with my younger brother, Chima. We lived in Brockley. I grew up in Brockley, Southeast London, and I went to a primary school called Brockley Junior School. And my school life, my childhood life was okay, I suppose. I was a bit of a disruptive child, bit of a joker, and I tended to be the class clown. But
is that what you would say? So was the disruption you're saying you was a disruptive child, as in you was the class clown? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, morely like that one there. Cause I used to like to always give jokes or be disruptive in that type of way there. Be a bit loud, as they say. But yeah, I used to get a lot of letters sent on basically because of my disruptiveness in class.
Okay.
And my mum used to have to come up as well. And I remember I used to have to write a lot of lines in primary school. I must not, I must not, I must not, I must not. Can't remember the rest, but there's a lot of I must not lines.
What was the biggest I must not you had to write though? What was the main thing that used to stick out all the time for you that they used to make you write? What was the main thing? What was the main thing that you did that you would get catched for and get reprimanded, as they say?
I must stop disrupting the class.
Okay, so disruption. Okay.
Disruption in the class. Yeah.
Just gonna go back a little bit quickly, Kai. You said something, yeah, and it just kind of stood out for me, really. So you said that you had a good childhood, I suppose so. What did you mean by I suppose so? I just kind of wanted to ask you.
What I meant by that was that yeah, I mean, I was brought up in a home. My mum with a fella who used to abuse her. So I used to see her be hit as a child, and I didn't like that at all. Not to see my mum get hit by another man. and I just felt kind of helpless at that situation there. Yeah, he was a bit of a drinker. He used to drink alcohol, but I didn't understand that when he used to get drunk, that he used to lash out at my mum, and I used to see that and witness those things. So I was a bit quiet in school at times, and a bit, didn't know how to handle it, had to deal with it, I suppose, in that type of way there. So that's what I meant by kind of an all right childhood. Because
So
when you
how old was you roughly when that was going on? When that was going on at home?
seven, eight,
Okay, so
seven,
you was
eight,
really
nine,
young.
yeah, 7, 8, 9.
So okay, so you're at home, you're experiencing domestic violence through
That's right.
your mum's getting domestic violence. So
Yeah,
as a little 7-year-old kid, you feel helpless because you can't help your mum.
yeah.
Okay, so that obviously affected you enough, innit? Obviously, you know what I mean. So when you're seeing that, did you feel safe at home at all, though, Tirzah?
When he wasn't there, I suppose I felt safe at home.
Okay,
When he was there, I didn't know how to feel in that type of way there.
okay,
Because with my because of my behaviors at school, I used to get hit, but at the same time, he used to give me some punishments. I didn't really know about these because I remember one time for a letter being sent home, he made me sit on the chessboard, and he used to make me put my arms out like that, straight. And if I did drop the arms, then he'd give me a lick. So
okay.
that was a type of
So you experienced it as well, then? It wasn't just your mum; it was you as well. You was getting it as well, yeah?
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you've got this going on at home. Like, so you're at school, and is that why you've been disruptive? Do you think, like, is it why you was acting out in school because of what the shit was going on at home? And
I suppose I don't want to, but yeah, I suppose in some ways not, because I didn't know how to express myself as a child. I
okay,
didn't know how to deal with things. So I suppose a part of that was really getting attention.
okay.
Yeah, as a child.
So you was because you didn't feel like you was getting it at home, so you thought, yeah, you was at school, you was getting some form of attention,
Yeah,
making people laugh and stuff like that. Okay,
wrong type of attention, but at the some, yeah, I mean, but I was a likable child, let's say.
yeah, I bet you was Chazar. Okay, man. So you get all this is going on. So like, obviously, that's affected you, deeply in it. That that stuff happens when we're young, man. It's like it's gonna affect you, man. So moving forward a little bit. So what happened? Is that how you was all the way through like your teenage years? What was it that you kind of started? What started happening at school in your secondary
Um,
school?
in my primary school, that was me. Bit of a class count, bit of a joke about lovable at the same time. Teachers like me. I don't know what they saw in me, but they kind of saw something in me, because they always thought that you're a nice child, but you give a little bit of trouble at the same time.
Okay,
So when I went to secondary school, now that was an experience for me, as the class, the primary school I did go to wasn't a class as a roughneck school. So when I went to secondary school, I went to a school called Crofton,
okay.
and
So Crofter's not a roughnet school. All right. Okay.
Crofton was we was the first mixed year amalgamation of a mix of a mix of a mix of a mixed class.
Heritage.
Oh no, we was the first year of a mixed school, because what we did, we joined up with Brockley County and Roger Melwood
Okay.
and Lucian girls. So they combined the schools together, and we was the first year mixed school. So I had the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth year were just pure girls.
Okay.
So we was the first mixed year in school. So when we got there, it was a new experience, and I started to mix with the rougher, let's say, lot of the school kids. Started to mix with the ghetto boys
Okay.
from the ends. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that was the experience. That was different. I started to move with them morely, and the class. What some of my school friends that came over, I used to mix with them, but I was mixing with a new crowd.
Okay. Okay. And these people were from like the hood, from the ends, and they were kind of doing what they're doing, a little bit more rough around the edges and whatever.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So why did you move towards them then? What was it that made you go towards them and not hang about with the same people that you kind of come through with?
I think it was more excitement, more of the thrill, and more of it was more excitement because it wasn't boredom. I tell you that. We never used to go to the library and read books. They used to go around and cause havoc amongst the school.
Okay.
And I used to enjoy causing havoc as well at the same time. So it was fun, but that leaded me into trouble. And I stayed 2 years at Crofton, and then in the 6 weeks holiday, the school I was meant to go to, which was Northbrook, came up, and I remember a teacher saying that if he continued with his behaviour the way it is, that he's going to get kicked out. But let me tell you, Crofton for my Tuesday was an absolute, it was a joy to be with, and we had like dances going on. I remember we had my first year in secondary school. We had a big dance, where the older girls got their little sound boys to come in and play some tunes. And I remember these times there, what's that reggae tune? Water pumping, baby, let me do the water pumping, darling, take it time. What? I used to do some dip and yo-yo when it comes to the dancing back then. But don't forget, back then was also robotic times, beatbox. Yeah, I mean, so used to enjoy that. And I remember coming in there, my grandmother, she used to cook patties. So I remember my first year, I've come in and they was like, well, everybody else bought crisps, sandwiches, cakes, sausage rolls. Me, I bought some Jamaican patties, original. And let me tell you, the kids are carrying like, what's that? You see when they box one, I've come back there, 20 minutes later, the whole box had finished. That's how
was you giving them away or was you selling them?
I was giving them away because it was a school disco.
Okay.
So we had food at the end of it.
Okay, yeah.
And I remember just other kids coming from other classes and coming to eat the patties more than more than the rest. So yeah, that was enjoyable to see. That was nice. Yeah. So that was enjoyable at that point there. And I remember I used to go around and remember the older girls just go, oh, ain't he cute? Yeah, I mean, so that was good because there's your second, third, fourth, and fifth year girls in that way there. So yeah, it was proper like fun at that moment in time.
So it was fun at them times. When did it stop becoming fun? So moving forward a little bit. So obviously something's happened in it for you to be wanting to change something. You know what I mean? There's been some form of not fun. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
so tell us a little bit about how. Yeah. Go on.
I didn't start smoking till I was about the third year.
Smoking? What was you smoking? What, cigarette or?
A cigarette first of all.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fourth and fifth year, I started to smoke some weed. I remember the experience of me smoking my first ash, gold seal, red seal, Rocky. I remember smoking my first time round, and I remember just having the giggles. That was an experience, and yeah, used to smoke a bit of weed, smoke a bit of Rocky. Used to do cocktails at the same time. At the same time, I started to have a little bit of drink, a bit of Thunderbirds. I mean,
red bottle. Red bottle or blue bottle? Thunderbirds.
Listen, the blue bottle was what I could handle. The red bottle, that's what I started to puke up on. The red bottle was that was a smasher.
Yeah. I remember the Canai days as well, boy. I remember drinking Canai days. Yeah, the little small boy to put in the back of your chinos when you used to back in the day. Remember the chinos? Yeah. Remember? Yes. Of course. Yes. All right, so it was all fun times then, yeah? Everything was fun. You was partying, you're young. Yeah. All the girls, they were like saying, boy, isn't he cute? And all that, yeah? I get it, man. We was all there, yeah? We was all there. Yeah. So things were good, man. Yeah. So What happened in Tirzah, man?
Well, um, that was then. Um, Smoked weed that. I did learn about crack cocaine at a young age, but I wasn't smoking. I just knew
Okay.
that because there was a tune up coming out. Do not touch it. Do not touch it. Do not touch it. Do not touch it. Thing on cardiac. Do not touch it. Lift the drugs alone. Lift the drugs alone. Lift the drugs. Lift the drugs alone. I me said, do not touch it. Yes, I remember those type of shit. So I never used to want to go and touch it. Yeah, I mean, used to see it because around my way, Ilderton State, Love Lynch, Deptford, those areas had it was a crack pandemic at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, and this was like in the
So,
80s, late
uh,
80s.
was you seeing a lot of people that you knew that you kind of grew up with or around that were just smoking at the
It's
place?
like,
And
yeah, I started to see a
yeah.
lot of the young. I started to see my age group. Some people just change.
Mm,
Some people, robbing. You know what I
okay.
mean? Some people just doing con man games. Um, and we just knew that at that moment in time it wasn't the one. But at that time also, I was going to acid house raves, and that's when I
Okay.
kind of took my first E.
Okay.
And that was an experience and a half. I remember taking my first E. I went to Rage down Charing
Okay.
Cross. Um, Went to Rage down Charing Cross, and I remember taking my E there, and it was just a lovable night. I remember I got home, I just couldn't stop smoking cigarettes, and I just wanted to hear music and continue to dance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the experience. So that was me experienced that scene. But I used to like my reggae, I used to like my soul, used to love my rare grooves.
Mm,
Before that was listening to Saxon, you know what I mean, Coxon. Saxon
yeah.
was my sound because I come from Southeast London. But I listened to Saxon versus Unity, Saxon versus Coxon, Saxon versus Volcano, in that type of way there. Then we had
So
the
you was
early
just
large
like a
sons coming on.
normal. Would you say you was just like most people of that era? Like I was doing the same thing, but just in a different area, more or less.
Yeah,
Just like you, I went through
yeah,
the whole back in the day, the Sound Clash days. You get me?
yep,
We had Shaka and all them man there from back in the
yep,
day. King
yep.
Original, or I could go on and on about the sounds, and I mean, I used to play sound as well for a little while. But so the Acid House coming, I remember when that came in, it was just like bang, everybody was just like doing what they was doing,
Mm,
dropping E's, everyone become lovable in the raves and stuff like that.
yeah, biology.
Yeah. So what happened? Because the music stopped a long time ago, Tizar.
Listen, the music may have stopped, but at that moment in time, I had a job. I was working for the post office. I felt like if I take out two little cards and start shopping with some cards and stuff like that, it'd be all right. But I got caught. Um,
Okay.
got caught when I was 17 going to 18. 18 going into 19. 'Cause I spent my 90th birthday inside, I believe, or 17 going, yeah, 90th birthday inside.
So
Went up
that's the
to,
first time you went into. So you went into prison. Is that what you're saying? At
yeah, I
19.
went to
Yeah.
prison when I was 18.
Okay.
That's my first one, deception. So
How long was you in
yeah,
jail for?
I got 6 months. I must have served
Okay.
3, yeah.
So tell
So
me about that. What was that like, man? At that
I
age,
went
like
to um it was different for me because I never went to jail before. I didn't go to no bad what's that called no boarding schools or anything like that. I can't remember the place we used to call the place.
detention centers.
Yeah, detention centers.
Yeah.
So this was my first experience. I went to Holiday Bay.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that was my first experience of it, and yeah, I didn't know what to expect, to be honest with you. I just knew how to just stand up for myself. That's all I remember. I got through that okay, and at the same time, I still didn't buy by the system because um, I used to be one of the cleaners or one of them one day, and I remember smuggling some rocky into the place. You know what
Okay.
I mean? So yeah, got that stuff going on in there, but
So
it was an
you still
experience.
okay. So you're still behaving bad even though you was in jail. You're still doing your thing.
Yeah,
Still doing your little like side hustle or whatever. Yeah.
in that
Okay.
type of way.
Even though it's the first time you've been in jail. So okay. How was it at home though? 'Cause, like your mum must like you. Yeah. What did your
For my mum, it was heartbreaking for mum to see me go to jail. You know what I mean? That wasn't what she wanted for a child, and that wasn't what she was expecting. So it
Mm.
was heartbreaking for her. And yeah,
Was she still supportive though towards you? Was she still kind of like, did she
well,
still
it
have
was
your
my
back?
first time to go in that type of way there, and she just thought that, you know what, you just done something wrong. Hopefully, you would learn by this, and hopefully, you would turn around and change your life. And
And did
sorry,
that
again.
happen? And did that happen at that time?
Um, well, not really. Well, yes and no, because I experienced a jail, and I didn't go back to jail for another 10 years.
Okay.
So I must have stayed out of jail for about 10 years. Yeah, I stayed out of jail for
What
10 years.
was what was happening within them 10 years, from 19 to
Ten
29?
years. I managed to get myself another job. Various types of job. I remember went into selling, door to door selling, um, phone call selling. I remember I got a job working at a parcel full place, a private one. That
So
was
you've
fun.
always been a bit of a worker, though, haven't you? You've always grafted, didn't you? So
Yes.
you've never been shy from work.
Nah, I've
That's
never
one
been
of your.
shy
That's
for
you've
work.
always had that kind of that principle of working constantly. Yeah.
Well, yeah, yeah, in that type of way. Yeah, I mean, don't forget I had my little short spells. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tried to juggle, well, tried, I say, juggling weed at times.
How did that work out?
It worked out. It worked out okay. You know what I mean, I got the hang of not smoking it all and
Yeah.
selling it,
Okay.
and then selling it and not smoking it. So I got the hang of it along the way. So that was fun. That was nice.
Okay.
Um, so that was a bit of extra money because I used to smoke weed in it. So that was extra money coming in. Um, dabbling, dabbling a bit of coke at that moment in
Okay.
time. Just dabbling. Um, Smoking weed, dabbling. So it wasn't really a thing. So enjoying going out, dabbling, work for Richard Sounds,
Okay. I know it.
doing the
Yeah.
stereos that one day.
Yeah.
So yeah, enjoyed that one there. Um, Made the mistake of bringing my outside life. So basically, I sold to someone in the workplace, and they G'd me up, and I lost that job in that type of way there. So yeah, um, another job lost for it. So it was yeah, so I was in and out of jobs. So I think for me, was a mixture. Then I started to work for cable. I worked for
Okay.
Videotron. Yes, I worked for Videotron. That was like, yeah, that was proper the starting of my work. My work. I totally enjoyed that job. Loved that job. Loved because we was installing, meeting
Mm.
people every day, different type of people, and that was my job. Totally enjoyed installing, and plus I had the side hustle in it, selling dodgy boxes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so I enjoy selling dodgy boxes, earning the money. But at this
Okay.
time now, now I've started to smoke. I started to go raving, and I started to smoke crack. But I was smoking the crack, and I was smoking it in a spliff.
Okay.
So I was smoking the spliff. I thought to myself, I'm not going to pipe it because that's too bad. I mean, so
Well,
I just season spliff it.
yeah. Well, the thing is that I remember, I know, because like, there's a hierarchy in it. Like back in the days, like if you were smoking crack in a pipe, you was just like a crackhead. Like you can't be trusted and
Correct.
rare, rare, rare. But if
Correct.
you smoke it in a
Yeah.
spliff, you're just like man's just a smoker. And man was doing that
Yeah.
in jungle raves, like
Oh my gosh.
it was part of the flow. I get it, man. I
It was part.
remember.
It was the scene. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it was definitely. See, if you
You're
weren't in a
definitely
jungle
part of
rave smoking a crack spliff, then I don't know what you was doing. Like, who
it.
are you?
Listen, that was the one. I'm not going to deny it.
But
That was it.
having said that, it wasn't normal for people to, it's not a normal thing to do. But at the time, I
Well,
suppose it was for it. Yeah,
there people most probably could cope with smoking at the weekend and then stopping
yeah.
it on the Monday and then going to work. Wow.
So tell me about your story then. So how did it become? Oh, go on. Just carry on. So
So
you're
yeah,
working.
so I was working for cable. I was earning the money. I was earning dash loads of money, installing box, doing private jobs, selling boxes. So used to get paid cash in, used to get paid by check, used to go to the pub, cash it in,
Mhm.
and then I used to have money. And then I used to think to myself, how come, you know what I mean, I've got, you know what I mean, £500 at the end of the week, but Monday morning I've got zero. I just thought to myself, like, I just earned some money again, but I just didn't really understand that I had a problem. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I'm just bunking the money at the weekend, but because I know that I could get it back, it wasn't really an issue. But after a while, it started to become an issue because I started to not get up for work sometimes. You know what I mean?
You've been
Because
on
of
it all night,
my
yeah.
using. Yeah,
Yeah.
all night, using all night. You know what I mean? At the weekends, on during the week. You know what I mean? Bosses used to have a go at me. You know what I mean? Because you get paid by the job in installments that way, then they want reliable people. So even though I did work for Videotron, Cable and Wireless, NTL, I had stages. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I worked North London, I worked East London, I worked West London, well, I worked all over. I worked down in Brighton doing the cable, you know what I mean? And even working in Brighton, I still, I mean, still smoking, still abusing it. But I
When
suppose
did
kind
you?
of,
Yeah, go on.
um, so during that time there, smoking and everything like that, I had a job, so I was maintaining everything. But I think it came to a head when I was around about 29 or something like that, when I lost my job finally, and I just I started to smoke the bottle. I started to use the Martell, and
Okay.
that's when things really took a wrong turn. Once I hit that Martell bottle, that was it. I was off and running.
Okay. So tell me a
I
little bit
remember
about
the
the off
time.
and running. Give me some examples about you off and running. What was it that you was doing? How did it
Uh,
feel like being where you was?
um, Once I licked the pipe, that was it. Then I was out robbing, doing robberies, um, doing shoplifting, doing any forms of means to get money to be able to support my habit at that moment in time. So that's when the prison life started back again.
Okay.
That's when I started to get back into shoplifting, robberies, offensive like that. You know what I mean?
Did
Have a crime to
was there
rob
anybody
and get
around?
caught.
What about was anybody around you that was like kind of noticed that there was a difference in you though from them times there though? Like there's something like Tirzah's not the same no more, or people just did. Did you get the
I
name?
had, you know what?
Like your
I
mum,
had
did your
close friends.
family? Did they try and
Oh,
say,
listen, when it comes to my mum, yeah, she noticed a difference, and she tried to help me by ringing people who she thought might help me, but they didn't help. And after a while, I just, yeah, I mean,
who was she ringing? Who did she ring to help
wrote to
you?
my mum. She
Who,
rang
who, who?
my uncle at that moment in
Okay,
time to see if he
okay,
could help me because he understood a little bit about it.
okay,
So she rang him to help me, but yeah, I mean, maybe at that moment in time because they didn't have nothing, everything was okay. But as soon as he went, and then as soon as, you know what I mean, the devil started talking to me in my head, then that was it. I was off and running to go and get to the
okay,
Martell bottle, to go and get back the drugs. So I just back out on the street. So kicked out of the house, living rough, crack house to crack house, houses to houses. Yeah, any forms of ways like that. Jail, back out, same off and running. I managed to get my own place. Um, yeah, I managed to get my own place. That was a touch because I was trying to get on the straight and narrow, but I just kept on getting dragged back down. The crack
okay.
had me that bad that it just kept on just dragging me back down. So no form of way until I went to jail, and someone suggested that I go to a rehab.
Okay.
So my first rehab was 2005, and it was in
Wow. So
Droxford.
okay, another place. Yep.
Yeah, that was my first rehab.
Did what was it like going to rehab though for you? Like, what did you? How did it feel like when you knew you was going to this place?
Well, you know what? Because the judge sentenced me to rehab, I thought to to myself, I didn't know nothing about a rehab. I never heard about a rehab. Well, heard about rehab, but I didn't understand it or what you had to do
Mm.
there, what it was about. Understanding about your feelings and when I got into there, understanding about why I do the things I do. It delved back into my past, tried to make me understand it. You know what I mean? And I got a bit of understanding. And I thought, you know what? I was cured, innit? I didn't know that.
Okay.
I had an introduction to the 12-step program, but didn't really fully understand it. Because the Phoenix future at that moment in time was CBT, cognitive
Okay.
behavioral therapy. So I was dealing with things like that. But
Okay.
when I came out of there, I moved over to Northwest London and near Stonebridge, Harlesden, yeah, Northwest London. And I thought to myself, if I change where I am, now go back to South London, that would be the
Mm.
right thing for me to do. But I didn't understand that, you know what, it wasn't the people, it wasn't people, places, or things, it was me
Okay.
that was a problem. So 2005 came out of rehab in 2006 and June, must have stayed clean for about maybe a month. And remember I
How did
used,
it?
I remember I used, I remember I came back, they tested me and I thought I was going to get kicked out and I begged to stay. And he said, well, listen, give you one more chance, but if you use, you're out. I thought, that is it. I'm not going to use again, man. Because I thought, it's my last straw. I'm going to get kicked out. I had nowhere to go. But once I tasted it, that was it. A couple of days later, I was off and running again, innit? So got kicked out.
How did that feel, man?
I was gutted. I was absolutely gutted. I just didn't understand what was going on for me. You know what I mean? I was I was I was disappointed that, you know what? Oh, go back a bit. Yeah, I mean, because when I went into rehab in 2005, I was close to my grandmother. And when I was in rehab, my grandmother passed away February the 5th, 2006. And that really hit me because I went to go and see her in hospital and she had cancer. And I remember promising her, I said to her, you know what, just hang on until July when I come out and you're going to see that I will change. You know what I mean? And when she passed away, I was in treatment, so that hit me hard. You know what I mean? Didn't know what to do.
Did you talk about it at all though when you was in there about what happened with your nan, with your grandma and stuff like that?
I spoke about it. Spoke about it a little bit, but I just don't. Yeah,
You
I
weren't
didn't
there
really.
yet.
Weren't there yet.
Okay.
Weren't there yet. It was painful enough. You know what I mean? Me
Yeah.
being there and I couldn't be there to
Yeah.
go funeral arrangements, be out there in that way. I managed to go to the funeral and let me out for the day. Went to the funeral and it felt good to go to the funeral. Felt good to go clean. Felt good to see my
Mm.
family. Felt good to see my friends. You know what I
Mm.
mean? I thought, yeah, I was gonna make it. I was gonna do it. But when I came out and I used, I just felt gutted. I just disappointed myself, but I felt like I disappointed my grandmother as well. So I took that with me. Yeah, but
Thing is,
started to use.
I kind of get what you're saying because, like, I think sometimes when you're using against your will, when you're using drugs and you don't want to use, and you've made all these promises, and you made promises to yourself as well, and all these people have got this. They've seen you get, and you've had a taste of like recovery, and you've had a taste of like changing things, and then when you do go and use, it's like I don't know, man. It's like you get this feeling of dirtiness. Do you know what I mean? It's griminess. It's like it's
Definitely.
double hard, much more. Yeah, you just feel that much more worse than you would previously because you never knew that you could get clean. You know what I mean? Or you didn't even know you had a problem. But now you know there's a way out, and you had the way out, and then for some reason it's like, well, you know what the reason was. You know what I mean?
Listen, when you got a head full of recovery and your body filled with drugs, it is just an absolute nightmare because you're
Yeah.
just torn between the two. Your head's telling you one thing and you're trying not to do the other. And it's
Mm.
like you're just your head full of recovery and a body full of drugs. There's not a combination which is nice because you just
Okay.
get for me, I just felt more and more depressed and more down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Using wasn't from when I got into recovery, using was not the same
Okay.
because I was aware and I knew. And so it was more painful to use
Yeah.
each time, knowing
So
it
you
was
didn't
gonna
get clean
break.
that time, so things got worse for you. Yeah.
Yeah,
So what happened then?
things
What?
got worse.
How did it turn around for you, man? When did it change for you, man? God.
Well, I went back into recovery again. I went back into rehab in 2008. And I
Okay.
thought this time things were going to be different. I went to a treatment center in Southampton. I stayed there for about a month and a bit. Got into an SR relationship.
What's an
But
SR? Just let people know what an
it's
SR is.
a special relationship with another peer, not a
What's a
man.
special relationship?
Special relationship with a woman peer.
Okay, so what does that mean? Just say how it is and not the.
A special relationship. I was having sex with a woman in rehab,
Okay, all right.
and when you're rehab, you're not supposed to be doing that. You're not supposed to have no
Okay,
form of relationships like that.
okay, cool.
So yeah, in that
And
type
you
of
got
way,
so you got kicked out of that place as well, yeah?
got picked out of that place. Then they took me to an all men's one up in what's that place called?
Weymouth?
Yes, Weymouth.
Did you not got? Yeah, 'cause I
Yes,
remember you
Weymouth.
saying you were in Weymouth, yeah.
Yeah, in Weymouth. So I went to a place up in Weymouth. Um, that I thought to myself, yeah, that was an all men's one. Um, I was doing okay there, but my behaviors were still there. I thought that I could do recovery and still go shoplift. So I
Okay.
went out shoplifting. So I gone shoplifting. Oh, I can't believe it. Went shoplifting, got caught. While I was in the police station, they let me out early. So I felt like I ran back to the rehab and I thought, so that's it. No one's gonna know. I just go to court.
What was he
They
trying to take? What was he trying to steal, Tirzah?
at that time, yeah, it
Yeah.
was
What
a
did you get
bag.
caught? Okay.
I got trying to steal a bag.
Okay.
Just a
So you got caught.
just a man bag.
Sorry, just had to
Got
kind of
caught.
stop. Just wondering what you trying to steal. So you trying to get back into the rehab, yeah? And
Yeah. I got caught. I got to the police station. I've rang the rehab and said to him, listen, um, sorry, I'm running late. Sorry, I'm running late. I'm going to be a bit late. And yeah, can you save me some dinner? So I didn't know how long the process was going to take, but for some reason the process took quickly. So I was out there within a couple of hours. So I managed to
wow.
go back, went back there, had something to eat, didn't say anything, and felt that it was all kosher. On Monday, they had a group meeting, and one of the councillors said, "Okay, then let's go around the room and see how everyone done for the weekend. Let's see who's had a good week and who hasn't." And then he's come to me. He goes, "Have you done anything different this weekend?" I went, "No." Well, somebody has. You sure you haven't done anything different? So, does he know? He kind of know. I didn't tell him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He goes, "Did anybody do anything what they shouldn't have done for the weekend?" And I looking around and thinking, "Nah, he can't. He can't know." What about, did anyone do any bit of shoplifting at the weekend? Listen,
They knew already.
they knew. They knew. They rang up. They knew. I got told that, and that was it. Oh, mate. So what happened to me was, they said to me, "Okay, you're gonna have to leave, but we're gonna give you time to find somewhere else." So I went down to Bournemouth, and I got into another, not a treatment center, like what do you call this? Where you
Like a
finish
dry
treatment.
house. Yeah, like
I got into
secondary.
a dry house.
Yeah.
I got into a dry house on a Friday, and everything was kosher and sweet. Decided to stay down to dry. I decided to stay down Bournemouth for the weekend, and then all of a sudden on Monday I got kicked out of the dry house
Why did you get kicked out of the dry house?
because my behaviors once again.
What was the behaviour this time?
My behaviors. I got caught in another treatment center's property where I shouldn't have been.
What was he doing in another person's treatment? What was he doing?
I was seeing an old friend, old
Woman?
lady friend, and I got caught.
Okay.
So I got caught, and that treatment, sorry, I got dry house. That dry house was the same dry house, man. I shouldn't have been into a girl's dry house. So I got caught, and I got kicked out on the Monday. So that's it now. I'm messed up. I've got nowhere to go. So went back to Weymouth. From Weymouth, I come back down to London. I met up with somebody in recovery, and I thought to myself, okay, I'll try to do things a bit differently. Met with someone in recovery. Went to a meeting, done that. I must have been clean for about a month, and then I thought to myself it'd be a good idea if I go over to North London, Hornsey, where I used to use, and try to get some of these people in into treatment. You know what I mean? I thought I'd go to a crack house and try to let them know that there is another way, the 12-step way. You know what I mean?
And what happened?
Well, I went in there preaching, came out with a Martell bottle. So my preaching didn't work for me because their preaching was stronger.
Okay, I'm laughing because it's just a classic, in it. You know what I mean? Like, you're going into, mate. I get it, bro. Listen, I remember when I was in recovery, early recovery. I went to a yard and the man and all my brethren was burning weed. They weren't even smoking them. And I sat there and I played a share to them. They had to sit there for 40 minutes listening to this guy. I was like, listen, you can stop this, you know. Bro, there's a new way out, man. You can stop running the team, man. Do you get me? And that was just weed. And no man wasn't even running that was thing. You get me? But yeah, I get it, man. I didn't use, though. That's the thing. That was the difference. But I mean, it doesn't matter. Do you know what I'm saying? It was like, if it was a crack house, then yeah, it would have been. So you used.
Well, I used.
Out there for a while.
Running, out there, well, that's 2008. Yeah, off and running. Out there for a while. Came back over to South London. Started to get myself into a bit more problems. Started to rob some dealers. People started to look for me.
Started to get messy, really messy.
Yeah, it started to get proper little messy. Yeah, my life was in danger at times. So that was off and running for 2 years, up until 2010. So, but this time I went to prison, went to Belmarsh. I remember I broke down in front of the carrots worker. Started to cry. I just said, listen, I just need to change my life. I just need to stop this. I just need to just find a new way. I can't keep on doing this. You know what I mean? I'm 38 at that moment in time. So I just said, 37 going to 38. I said, I want to change my life. I don't want to reach 40 and we're doing the same thing. I don't want to be in prison and be known as uncle.
Yeah.
I just didn't want that. So the same treatment, the same key worker who got me into treatment in 2005 was the same key worker who came up. I can't remember his name. I'm gonna find out. My friend remembering. He came up in 2010. He came to Belmarsh prison and he said to me, T, listen, funding is not how it used to be. You're not getting the treatment like it used to be. We can get you the funding, but let me tell you, just use it, because if you don't use it wisely, then we don't know when you're going to get it back. So he came. He told me a couple of places. Said to me, do you want to go back to the one down in Droxford? Thought about it. Said to me, do you want to go to one in Bognor Regis, Ravensbourne? Thought about it. And he said, do you want to go to a place called Anna in Portsmouth? I thought, Portsmouth, that's got a good recovery base. I remember last time. I really wanted to go Bournemouth, but I didn't have nowhere for me to go in Bournemouth. So I said, all right then, I'll go there. So I went to where'd I go? I went to a treatment center, and this time when I went to the treatment center, I kind of like followed what they said. I didn't get into no special relationships. I kept myself, not to myself, but myself to myself. I listened, opened my ears, and put cotton wool in my mouth, and I just listened to what the.
What was different this time, though? What was it that you think was completely different?
I think for me there was a change within me that wanted to do something different, that wanted to change my life. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I was sick of the lifestyle which I had left, which I had. same old thing, waking up, doing the same old thing, robbing, thieving, earning money to spend the money. Nothing was accomplished. And
Mm.
all that time there, all I just remember kept thinking to myself, I'm just giving my mum pure heartache and pure worry. And she's must be thinking to herself, one day someone's going to knock the door and say, your son,
Mm.
I'm sorry to say this, but your son. And I just didn't want that. I think I just
Yeah.
didn't want it. And I just wanted I just proper wanted a new way. And at that moment in time, when I was in treatment center, they came and they told me that they took away my place. So I said to myself, I don't want to be going back because I ain't got nowhere to go back to. And I
Mm.
don't want to go back on the streets. So I just said, you know what, let me just wholeheartedly put myself into this and let me see what happens. So I put myself into it and yeah, I just went to the meetings, met you, met some other
Mm.
people, and started to do recovery in a different way.
And what a change, hey, from where you was, I suppose, at what you've been talking about to where you are now.
Oh my
Do you know what I
goodness,
mean?
what a change! What a change! And some of the dreams and some of the things that you think, what I think, which was impossible, which couldn't be reached or wasn't attainable, came into place. Didn't ever think that I'd be able to get clean. Didn't ever to think that I'd be able to get like 2 months clean, let alone coming on 11 years clean.
Yeah.
So
Well done, man.
those are the things which I just didn't think. I didn't think I'd be able to save money. I didn't think I'd be able to go on holidays. I didn't think I'd be able to get married in recovery, find a wife. You know what I mean? Look after my child, look after my grandchild, be there for my grandchild, be there at the birth of my daughter.
Wow.
No, my daughter's my grandchild. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? These are the things which didn't think I'd be able to do. You know what I mean? Go on holiday with
And
my mum.
yeah.
Yeah, these are the things which recovery has given me, and which has got me. You know what I mean? House. You know what I mean? Car. Yeah, all these things. Yeah, I mean,
What's the biggest thing that you say for you that you've achieved in recovery that you feel that you've achieved in recovery? Out of all of the lists that you found, what's top of the list for you, do you think? You spoke about a lot of stuff.
um, my mum getting back her son, and
Okay.
my family getting back their nephew.
Yeah.
I think that was.
Because you got a strong, I know your family because I met most of your aunts. There's quite a few aunts, and
Yeah.
there's a strong. I know you've got a strong kind of family bond thing. I know that I know your aunts, Auntie B, and yeah, you know what I mean. They kind of look out. I know you're like the, you know what I mean. So I can imagine how, yeah, it must have been for them, man. Peace of mind for them, innit?
Oh, most
Yeah,
definitely. They didn't want to let me in the houses, or if they let me in the house, it would have been security.
yeah,
Where are you going?
yeah. So there you go, man. So Tizar, if you could say something to the young Tizar who or somebody's listening, who you know, what could you offer them? What advice would you give them regarding they're going through the stuff they're going through?
When you say the youngsters are, how young are we talking? Like childhood or someone using
I'm,
drugs?
I'm talking about I'm talking about a time when Tizar was young and he was doing things that he couldn't stop.
You know what? It's difficult to kind of say, but I understand what you're saying. But like to me, to speak to a younger Tizar had to go through the experience of life the way he had to go through to come through the other end.
Mm,
Obviously, I wouldn't want no one to have to go through that, but nothing. I mean, sometimes you got to go through the rough to get to the smooth.
yeah.
And I
Okay.
understand that sometimes, you know what I mean, you're in a situation, but no one could help me but myself. People could give me
Okay.
advice, people could tell me, but unless I wanted to do it or unless I wanted to take it up, then that would have been the only way. And if anybody, I mean, if I could tell anybody, I mean, all I would do would be just to listen to them. You know what I mean?
What's
Because
the one thing that you did consistently? You did it 3 times.
continue to keep on trying. Continue
There you
to
go.
I kept on trying. Not
There
never
you
to
go.
give up. I just kept on trying.
There you go.
Even if
There you go.
I kept on trying.
And that's why you're here sitting there 11 years. You know what I mean? Brilliant, man. So Tirzah, thank you, man. Like, it's been really good to kind of listen to your story again, man, and be part of your life and be part of your wife's life. I've got a lot of love for you. I relate to a lot what you say. It's just, like I said, the same sort of story, but just different postcodes. Also, like, who would you say is your role model? If you had a role model, who would you say is your role model?
If I had a role model,
who is one of your role models?
I'll say my grandmother.
Your grandma. Okay, cool.
Yeah. My grandmother was just one hell of a tough old granny. It was independent. It was hard. It was fair. It was loving. It was caring. It showed me that, you know what I mean? Don't let people take liberties with you. Always stick up for yourself. And you can achieve anything that you want with hard work and graft. But my grandmother came over with nothing. And my grandmother ran her own business, a patty business. She acquired 2 shops. She acquired 2 houses. She lived her life the way she lived it, with no education. And she brought up 3 girl, 2 boy, 5 kids.
Wow.
And she done a lot of that by herself. So yeah, my grandmother's my biggest inspiration. Yeah.
Brilliant.
I love her to the bone. And yeah, painful it is, and painful as it is, I would have loved her to have seen me the way I am now. Even though when she did see me, I was in recovery at that moment in time, but what she saw before that was painful for her.
Yeah.
At the same time, painful for me.
She's with you, man. She's in your heart, man. She's watching you, man. Of course she is. Cheers, Tirzah. So, just quickly to let the viewers know, so Tirzah walked into a treatment centre nearly 11 years ago in Portsmouth. He now works in that same treatment centre, carrying that message, supporting people with their problems. And what a miracle, man. What an inspiration.
Thank you.
So, that's it, man. Nothing but love, Tirzah. So to all our viewers, man, thank you for listening. Listen, remember to hit the subscribe button, like, share, do what you got to do. Let's get the message out there that people can get clean, people can change their lives, people can achieve all the goals they want, man. As long as they, like you said, keep on trying. Keep on trying.
Just keep on trying. And no matter what, just keep on trying. If you failed the first time, try again. If you failed the second time, try again. At some point, you will get it.
Brilliant. Thank you, man. Blessings, Tirzah. Yo, what's happening, people? I want to welcome you to Flip the Script podcast show. My name is Sol and I am the host. So, on this show, you'll get the opportunity to listen to some inspiring people talking about real, honest, heartfelt, no holds barred transformation stories. We get to hear from ex-drug users, reformed criminals, all sharing their personal stories and how they manage not only to turn their lives around, but now are helping others to do the same. We also get to hear from courageous men and women sharing their experience of surviving high-level trauma and what they are doing or done to start that much-needed healing process. They say that life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forward. On this show, we get to understand what that actually means. Everyone's got a story, but not everyone gets to share theirs. So remember, hit the subscribe button, press like, so we can continue to spread the message that change is possible even in the darkest of places.